All right, this is officially the final round for both of these two players here in Group D. Group D was the group that we signaled as the group of death at the start. We have some amazing names here, and even still, it is a fight amongst three players to decide who's going down with Bad Boy, and then who's going to be in third place, who is going to be in fourth place. Going off the top of my head, you have MBL, who still has one round remaining. He's at the top. He is confirmed to be number one. He's at 10 points. Then you've got Nikov, I believe at 8 or 9. Sorry, I should have this up. Nikov's finished. He's safe. But you have TaToH at 7 wins, and you have ACCM at 6 wins. And while initially that looks good, and it looks exciting for those two, that as if they're going to be safe, TaToH actually will have 2 sets tomorrow. He has Bad Boy, and he also has that set against MBL. So TaToH, who's at 3 wins, could go up to a potential of 9 and send whoever doesn't perform very well here today down. That's probably better for both of these two players if there's the 2-1 situation. That way they both get a share of the points. But if there's a 3-0 on either side, we could be talking about those players maybe being relegated if TaToH performs. But it is Bad Boy confirmed to be out at the bottom. He's going to try and take TaToH with him tomorrow. In the red, we have TaToH playing as the Burgundians. In the blue, we have ACCM playing as the Bohemians. This is a common pick for fortified clearing. And then we'll have the 2 home maps for the players as well play out. Again, it's a play all 3. It's $40 per victory. And every single game counts. If you're in first place in the group, you get a bye and go immediately to the quarterfinals. Second and third places will play off against other second and third place players from the in a round of 12, excuse me. Fourth place stays alive for the next season. Fifth and sixth is out. We don't have chat on screen, but everyone here is like, wow, T90, your farms are incredible. You are amazing. I'm so glad that I'm here. You have the best jokes ever. You do not at all make me fall asleep when I watch your content. You know, things like that are being said at the moment. So, yeah, and I say 2-1 TaToH is my prediction because I do feel like TaToH is an overall better strategist than ACCM, but it's been very close for both of these two so far. They had similar results as well. I think ACCM was 2-1 by Nikov. TaToH was 2-1 by Nikov. They both 3-0'd Bad Boy. And then... Did they both 2-1 TaToH? Was it? No. Actually, I forget. Why do I do this when I don't pull it up on screen? Anyways, I don't like this house for TaToH. I'm going to assume that was one of his starting houses, but that's kind of in the way on the berries, which sucks. He is Burgundians, though. His wood upgrade from Feudal Age is already in the Dark Age. And I'm sure he'll go for more of the boom approach. I would say that Bohemians will probably try and play this through the middle. It's a civ that will want an uncontested boom. And likely we're going to see spearmen, monks, hand cannons. That's the ideal scenario anyways, with some Hufnita cannons pushing towards the mid. TaToH will probably try and use mobility a bit more. That could be why ACCM is walling up. But also, ACCM in his previous round against Nikov had a sneak villager come to town. So I think that could be why he's walling up so early here. But overall, that's fairly standard. A lot of players are doing that. Is this set live? No, this set happened a couple hours ago. And I obviously didn't watch any of the games. It's really hard when we have players playing each other in every round, 4 different groups. What is it, 15 sets a week? It's hard to get everything live, so I just stack up some recs. But the way it works for the final stages, for those that are wondering, so we have everything non-spoilered, right? We will have some things as recs, but not seen before by anyone, anywhere. We will have Friday round of 12s, best of 5s. We'll have Saturday best of 5 quarterfinals. And then we will have best of 7 semis and then also best of 7 final on the same day. So like a marathon day. That'll all be next weekend. So if I had to guess, I'd say TaToH goes into light cav off of Fast Castle. And we probably see a bit of a boom from him. Sometimes the Bohemians will go for the barracks approach. And they'll just go for spearmen with their monks because their spearmen do extra bonus damage. We'll see what the approach is for ACCM. I personally do not like the approach of the barracks. I think if you're going to contest for relics, you might as well try and make your own scouts. It is tougher to justify, though, because at the same time, Burgundians Not only do they have the cheaper eco upgrades, not only can they get it 1 age earlier, but then their stable upgrades are also cheaper. So there's 3 reasons why they're going to be better than that. Better than the Bohemians at that, I guess. We'll see. Yeah, TTL for Platinum is over next week. But then the week after that, I will cast the round of 12, the round of 8, all the way to the final of Gold. So there will be a lot of content. Obviously, the top 8 in Gold, regardless of what happens in those, will be promoted for Platinum. So we will have an idea of who that is pretty early on, but still will be fun to see those players face off. Yeah, so you've got 5 relics, towards the center. And then you have 4 relics on the outer ring, though there's 3 on the left side, making a total of 9 relics here. But it's a crazy thing. How we're going to conclude this is absolutely wild. The fact that, I mean, it's not ideal, but we had delays and we're going to make it happen. The fact that we will have 2 sets from Dogal on the final day makes this so weird. Because Dogal could jump up 6 whole points, which currently would put them above both of these guys. Now, I'll be curious to see how Dogal performs against MBL. I think MBL goes in there as the favorite. Dogal will feeling like he will feel like he needs a 3-0 against Bad Boy because everybody else in the group has got a 3-0 against Bad Boy. So he would consider that dropped points. We'll see the stable for TaToH. And then we'll see the blacksmith most likely. And we'll see, I think, a similar thing for ACCM. But yeah, the other final set we're going to have is Jordan versus Miguel, and that's a crazy spot in Group A because based on what happens there, we could have Classic Pro, Jordan, or Miguel relegated. And I think any of those 3 players could also be 4th or 5th. Or sorry, 5th is obviously relegation. I meant to say 3rd. Or is it 2nd? I think some players can even end up in 2nd. I think Doubt will actually end up being 3rd the way it looks right now. So it's very interesting situation in Group A. But we've had multiple groups come down to like 3 players fighting for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's just crazy to me that we could have someone in 2nd in Group A. Group A is still really on an intense position. Yep, exactly. We'll be casting that live tomorrow at 17 GMT. And then after that, we will do the Rex of Bad Boy Dogal that happened earlier that morning. And then we do MBL versus Dogal live at 22 GMT. So I might like stream. And then I think I will go offline and then come back for that other set later on. Sorry about chat, by the way. I'm not really sure how to fix it. It kind of sucks to be doing things live. I know people like to watch it later on and just see what people are talking about. I'm going to try and just reopen this program, but it shouldn't have an effect. This has to be the system's broken. Like, the alert box that I have that shows support and whatnot isn't showing anything. That's just blank. And then it also won't show chat on screen. Now, they're not necessarily tied together, but it is the same website. So, yeah, just not working. Walls for TaToH. We'll see if he makes a gate. If he makes a gate like this, that tells me he might go to the outside. And then in the middle, we've got scouts from ACCM. Obviously, can't really compete with the Burgundians' boom, but nobody can. You do have to compete, though, for those relics in the middle. We'll see how this goes. I don't think we need to watch this. ACCM will take this 3-0 easy, says Tima. I could see a 2-1 for ACCM. I really don't see a 3-0 on either side. Well, that's not true. I could see TaToH 3-0ing if it's peak TaToH and if ACCM slips up a bit. But ACCM, he knows exactly what TaToH's up to. He pulls his scouts back. It'll be light cav soon for TaToH. TaToH will see the 3 relics on the left side. Yeah, he does see the two relics on the left side. Does not see the relic on the right side yet. But I love how he's playing it. I love the gates. Some players will make the gates later, but then they have to send a villager all the way over there. So it just shows great early thinking from TaToH. Ooh. Oh, man. TaToH loses a scout there. That's really sloppy. So far, so good for ACCM, I guess. Though he probably won't be able to afford Lightcap. Hey, T90, what time are the finals on August 14th? Need to make a room my B-day for the final and a party. Well, it's next weekend, right? So it wouldn't be August 14th. And we will have the... Robo and I were talking about that this morning. Most likely the first semi will start at 13 GMT. It should be a pretty long day. I think it's going to be like first semi 13 GMT, second semi 16 GMT, and then final like 19 GMT. I don't think I could do earlier than 13 GMT and have it be like a really good show. So, yeah, Gold League will be the weekend you mentioned, I think. And I don't know the exact time of the final, but say like roughly like 18 GMT. Okay, here goes the Spearman again. TaToH losing another light cav. I mean, it's understandable, right? That's the whole point of adding the Spearman and Bohemians do extra damage, but at the same time, you just don't expect TaToH to take losses like that. And he will now... he will now lose a monk. But the positive thing for him is he might actually kill these scouts. But that ends up being okay for TaToH, I think. He'll get one relic now. TaToH slightly faster to the third town center. Or not. Slightly slower is what I meant to say. Got him. Overall, economically, it's been pretty close. TaToH, though, with more middle control because he's got the light cav. That's the thing about the Spearman play is the light cav can just always run away. The Spearmen have to always sit next to the monks. They're more protectors than they are monk killers. But yep, it's 2 relics. About to be 3. Don't think TaToH's going to allow this to happen. And in he goes, and that was beautiful micro. And he kills 2 monks there. That was very well done. Again, if you have light cav and you're not going for the Spearman approach, you can do this. TaToH using the strength of the Bohemians, or sorry, Burgundians quite nicely. I'm going to be interested on who is joining Ganji and TaToH in Platinum. Well, TaToH, he's confirmed winner of his group in gold. I didn't see if it's confirmed that Ganji's actually first in his group yet. I think he has another set to play unless that already happened in Gold League. I think that's still kind of up in the air. Stark in that group has been very delayed in getting some sets finished, I've heard from Robo, so... And we'll have 2 relics coming in from TaToH. There's something so peaceful about seeing the monks just carry those relics. I don't know how they don't throw their back out, but TaToH should be able to have those relics. And then also TaToH could get this relic. And this relic. So, trying to do the math. But TaToH will have more relics. There you go. I did the math. Siege Workshop for TaToH as he now has some map control. And I like the idea because I think here he's not intending on killing his opponent. But he doesn't want his opponent to be able to freely move out across the map with like pikemen in early imp and push him. Because it's all about the snowball. So it's more about maintaining the spacing between the two of you. And that will help you have a bit more time against whatever push is going to come from the Bohemians. Anyways, still trying to do the math. TaToH will have 5. This is going to be a relic up for grab still. And TaToH's monk there trying to convert. And oh wow, he researched Atonement. So he converts one monk on this side, and he tried to convert his friend, and his friend would rather die than join him. That was sneaky from TaToH. What's funny is we also saw Atonement from ACCM. But the fact that TaToH got that ahead of time is pretty wild. Also, he's bringing another monk. He's healing up the Spearman right now. Okay, converts a spear. But you see what I mean? This delays ACCM in ways that he maybe wasn't expecting, and it forces ACCM to play out more into castling. Like, look. You've got Rams now. I wasn't expecting Rams. And now suddenly ACCM's like, oh god. I need a castle. I need a barracks. I need all these things to stop this push from getting out of hand. And now he can't play the game as he would have normally played the game. And now TaToH clicks up to Imp. That's perfect. I like it. Forced ACCM to answer some really big questions. Try and find a response to what could be an all-in push, but it's not an all-in push from TaToH, and he just backs away. Also, TaToH heading over here at the moment with a couple of villagers. I'll have to keep an eye on that. He might not even take the gate down. I guess in the end he's here, he might as well, but just 2 rams. Takes his foot off the gas, says this is fine. ACCM has honestly done a really good job with his boom. He went for 4 TCs, but he has 90 villagers right now. He will lose his scout over here, though. So he has very tunnel vision on the middle. I don't think that's bad. I think that that's normal. That's what he'll want to do. TaToH's going to stonewall this, thinking about the long term. The chat isn't showing because it's bugged right now. So I can see your chat, but it's not showing on the in-game overlay because of the bug, unfortunately. And I can't figure out exactly what's wrong with it, so we're just going to have to deal with it for now. TaToH getting handcart nice and early, going Cavalier. I guess, you know, he has not seen Pikeman yet. He doesn't know exactly what ACCM is going to shoot for. There's an outpost here from TaToH, and TaToH's going to go for a siege workshop here. I kind of thought he would wall this up. So maybe he will push on the right and then wall the left and kind of fall back in the middle for the time being. The lack of technologies for ACCM is a little worrying. Like, not having pikemen yet is kind of a pain. But it almost looks like he's going to go full hand cannon here. Chemistry will be completed. He'll want to go Hoofnietse for sure. Like, with chemistry, you can make bomber cannons. And TaToH's now making a stable here. TaToH going for Paladin. ACCM will have no clue about this, by the way. This is the last thing he expects from here. I think ACCM is feeling very smart at the moment. Because, like, until now, when he sees the stables, now he's probably confused. But he probably was like, why would I go pikeman? He's trying to force me into pikeman. So I'm just going to go hand cannons because that's what he's going to do. And then I'll have my bomber cannons to kill his hand cannons. But now he saw the stable, and now he's like, wait, what? And now, oh god. TaToH actually runs in with the light cav here. He has a monk here somehow. And we have a very defensive castle from ACCM. Also, there's an overchop here. So now the light cav make it in, and ACCM's kind of falling apart. Now, this could lead to him falling apart in the front as well. He was not prepared to have to deal with this type of push. So yeah, now you need help. But I could see why he was thinking he didn't need help before. Had he just opened Halb and sent Halbs to the middle, TaToH probably would have prepped hand cannons. TaToH with a bit of mind gaming here, and he's at 80% on Paladin. TaToH's Vil count has been worse, but his efficiency has definitely been greater as he goes in for a raid here. Full control for TaToH right now. This needs to be dealt with. This push here. Villagers getting killed off. ACCM's kind of rattled. He is still bringing things forward, which is the right play. TaToH seems to be prepping army there like he's expecting it, though. 135 pop for ACCM. Halb now on the way. TaToH still pushing in with random paladins. Still has a ram. TaToH will need to defend from this, though. His archer ranges could be denied, and he could lose his castle. I love how ACCM's continuing to push. So many players would just spend all their time trying to mop this up. And they wouldn't be able to push. But I guess the problem then is, what if you don't have success on both sides? You're trying to do both. And now he could lose a Treb. His castle could be denied. The paladins are still getting value. So TaToH had sent just enough to both areas here. You've got this bomber cannon on this castle. You've got another castle for TaToH over here. He's going to fully surround the guy. ACCM will now try and push towards the middle. This is so well played from TaToH. This is insane. Now he has his own bomber cannons to help against this. TaToH's population is still lower. Right? And he is losing a lot of gold units, but he's keeping ACCM at bay. This is not the biggest push ever. Also, Bomber Cannon must have gone down to the Treb. So ACCM's push is completely stalled out at the moment. Yeah, it looks like ACCM did overchop this. It's kind of funny. We've got a Siege Workshop, a Pig, and a Bomber Cannon. It sounds like the start of a really dumb joke. I guess TaToH will be happy that he stonewalled this up. But, I don't know. I think for TaToH, if you just had ranges on this side to be able to make hand cannons, you could probably just hold this position no problem and go for the kill. Here, he's already pushing this castle down. So the middle is actually not a priority at all. He just needs to focus on the right side, and I think he has this one. ACCM will try and escape. He can't do that. The walls are there. TaToH's cannon, though, will get taken out. I guess the Halbs made it out. Yeah, because, look, it's only Halbs coming to deal with this. Also, I mean, again, ACCM just seems stressed. The villagers running out is a confusing thing for me. And this is not a bad play. Like, him still trying to go forward is good because you can't just react the whole time, especially when someone has full map control and 6 relics. But it's impossible for him to get the ratio right when TaToH continues to pressure him so much on both sides. I could even see TaToH making a paladin here. I know there's halves, but he just wants to keep focusing and forcing some type of move from his opponent. TaToH, an amazing game here. Remember, TaToH, he lost 2-1 to MBL. He lost 2-1 to Nikov. TaToH obviously has wins on the board, but for a player his stature, you would have expected him to not be in that conversation of someone who could potentially go down. We thought he'd be maybe in that conversation of being top 3. Still holding this position. Now you've got the hand cannons coming out, and now I think we're going to see... Oh my god! Now I think we're going to see ACCM start to crumble. TaToH could also go hand cannons on this side if you really wanted to. But the Halb hand cannon combination with the bomber cannons over here is just simply too much. So ACCM was going to push up the middle, guys. He didn't really care about the sides. He wanted to push up the middle. That's how the Bohemians thrive. Halb, hand cannon, Hufnitze. Big death ball push through the middle. Normally they'd have Hufnitze researched. That's a interesting castle from TaToH. Clearly shows that he feels like he's going to take this position. And I'm not seeing anything that tells me he won't take this position. He took the fight to the area that the Bohemians would hate the most. And oh my goodness, TaToH. Oh my goodness. Can he save these cannons? Don't tell me he saves these cannons. TaToH. Have a heart, TaToH. No way, dude. That is so good. Also, is streaming in Paladins from the stable. Good run in here now at this point. There's a massive overchop there. ACCM is through. He's going to drop a TC to get some gold there. But he needs... I don't know how he's still alive. He needs to push back this right-hand side. I don't see it. He's out of stone. Idle villagers every time I look over at his base. Now he's got paladins and hand cannons and Trev's moving into the middle from TaToH. So TaToH could push him from this angle. And... this castle will likely fall, which could lead to TaToH keeping his up. Shimmying these bomber cannons in to take out the Treb. Masterclass from TaToH here, guys. This is really good. This is an elite game from him. From getting the 6 relics to walling the left, pressuring the right, holding in the middle, all that stuff is just so difficult to do. That's why a lot of players don't try it, by the way. That's why a lot of players just wall up the sides. And they don't worry about the sides. Just because they can put all their focus towards one area. And their execution level will be much higher. GG's called. TaToH takes the first game. Dang, man. That was ridiculous. Like, okay, so it's one thing to get the relics. And it's another thing to take the side. But honestly, the most impressive thing for me is how he was able to prep perfect number of paladins and have the bomber cannons while also going for the attack. Because I could see him going for the right and dominating the right and then also losing the middle. That happens a lot. But like having everything nailed down in the same moment is incredible. He had the perfect number of production buildings. He had just enough resources to make what he needed. I think for ACCM, I think, and I'm trying to think about where he went wrong. Well, okay, the first thing that went wrong for ACCM was that he didn't go for help. But if you go back to that situation, I could understand it. It was like he expected TaToH to expect him to go into this or that, and then he didn't do it. Like, it was he mind gamed himself there almost. It was a double mind game. Because TaToH goes Cav, which should force help, and ACCM's like, no, 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 no. I'm not going to fall for it. But then TaToH did it anyways. Oh, God, that was wild. Here's the resources collected in this game. 57,000 resources for TaToH. And, well, I guess ACCM had more stone. There's that, buddy. Congratulations on that. 186 kills and 80 losses. Yeah, and also, it's a fair point from chat that people can't see either. Going hand cannons against Burgundians is also tricky because Burgundians have better hand cannons. It's just Burgundians can kind of handle everything if you think about it. But what they can't handle is the Hufnitze cannon snowball in the middle, which is why TaToH took it to the sides. Okay, this is not a Civ matchup that I expected here. The score is 1-0 for TaToH. Great stuff for TaToH. But we have Sicilians for ACCM. Dang. Now, I think we saw Sicilians once before. I think it was Vinchester against Slam in their first or second round. Oh, okay, I got you. I didn't know that. Thank you, Ducks. That's interesting information. I had no clue. Makes sense, I guess. And, you know, back to the game. Hindustanis is a civilization that I think could counter the Sicilians. Could counter any civilization. So I would prefer to see TaToH's civilization here. Now, I guess the question is, how much is that additional bonus damage? Or how much is resisting bonus damage really going to help you here? Sicilians do resist bonus damage by 50%. So if they were to make archers and their opponent makes skirmishers, or if they were to make knights and their opponent makes camels or halbs, the Sicilian cav will stay alive a little bit longer. Let me think about this for a second. So you have on one hand, talking about the cavalry, you have the knights that resist bonus damage by 50%. On the other side, you have camels that attack 20% faster. So I don't think this is necessarily how it works, but could you say that the resistance is only 30% then? Because the damage is coming in faster from the other unit? Something like that, right? So I guess my point is that the camels are still going to be a pretty effective tool. I feel like that attack speed is huge. Not to mention the fact that you get heavy camel and imperial camel. So I just don't know if full knights is really going to cut it for ACCM. Now, you do also have the unique unit, the donjon. Sorry, that's not the unique unit. That is the unique building. And I could see a world... why did I say... Yeah, okay, slow down. Jeez. Donjon, unique building. Sergeant, unique unit. There we go. So I could see maybe a world where you go combination of Cavalier and then also Sergeant. But I mean, even then, the Hindustanis have 9-range hand cannons. And the Hindustanis have halbs. And the Hindustanis have gulams if you go archers. And the Hindustanis have hussar and you don't. And the Hindustanis have cav archers. The Hindustanis just have a lot of stuff. So I think ACCM will likely be very greedy in this game. I think using the bonus where the TCs build faster, I think he will try and take this to late game, and then we'll see. But I don't really know. We saw Sicilians in... Wait a second. Can someone fact check that for me? It was Slam versus Vinchester round 1 or 2. What was the Civ matchup? I actually think Slam went cav archers as the Hindustanis and lost. I recall him going CA... and there were just Cavalier from Vinchester running in everywhere. So maybe ACCM has spoken a little bit to Vinchester. Who knows? Anyways, it is a wall map. This map is meant to be a mix of, let's say, Arena and Arabia. It's very different, obviously, but just the possibilities of walling is there. We do tend to see a lot of fast openings, though, like Scout Rush, but typically the Scouts don't do a lot of damage. It just allows you to have some map control and pretty good eco upgrades from Feudal Age onwards. Yeah, Erectus. The Sergeants do have crazy Pierce armor. The problem is the Civilization is designed around Cav now, right? So here's my Sicilian rant. I really like the idea of the Donjon, and I really like the idea of the Sergeant. But when they came out with the Civilization, and the Civ wasn't faring so well, and the unique unit wasn't being used, and the Donjon wasn't being used, First Crusade was the only time you'd see Sergeants. The devs were like, okay, we're just going to give them Strong Cavalier then. Which I've said many times, that bothers me, right? Like, I think the direction they were going with Sicilians was making sense. You have a boom civ, you got infantry, really unique ability to build a building with the unit that can be created out of that building. I just don't know if we're there, you know? I just don't know if we're there. I just think if you get a Hallberg upgrade on Cav, why would you try and go for an infantry unit? You know, it's too risky. And that bums me out, honestly. I would like to see some changes made to Sicilian still. But I also am a realistic man, and I feel like that probably won't happen. So Sergeants are more of like a complementary unit. You're never going to see like a full Sergeant switch like you would see the Japanese switch into Samurai or something. But hey, you get more food on your farms. So the longer the game goes, you do save a lot of wood with that. And nice little hit there from ACCM. We are going to have a nice little scout battle. You get the hill, I get the hill. TaToH had the hill more frequently there. And TaToH's winning this fight. Quite nicely, actually. It's 20 HP versus 9 HP, so ACCM's going to have to get out of here. T90, at least they gave them something. Unlike the Incas, they just nerfed them. Yeah, don't... well, okay, so in the case of the Incas actually do have a lot of options, and their identity is in that they have a lot of options. But I am with you that when they removed that bonus, they didn't replace it with anything, and it's been way too long. I do agree with you there. And I also agree that the old Incas brought a bit of uniqueness, which I felt was nice. But I understand as well how annoying it was. But if you can get, let's say, like 20 Cavalier, right? And then TaToH goes into any of the options that he wants to counter Cav. I know we're theorizing a little bit. But let's say he goes Halbs, or he goes for Camels. So TaToH full commits to that, and then you get First Crusade when you have 5 TCs. And then you have like 35 units that are very good against melee units. That could be really strong. There's our first kill of the game, by the way. There's the scout for ACCM. So going into Knights, and then, you know, forcing a hard counter. This is where I kind of like, you know, how the First Crusade plays out in the game. Going for a hard counter tonight, and you need a lot of stuff, too, because they resist bonus damage. And then suddenly, surprise, you've got Sergeants to deal with as well. That could be complicated. Be really complicated. We'll see. Gene, thanks for stopping by. If you haven't already left, thank you. Appreciate you being here. It looks like you have to peace out. Everything's pretty safe and calm right now. Everyone's walled up. Obviously, they have had to work for it as well. You just don't see high-level players make many mistakes. And I think for ACCM, he just created this scout so we could see what his opponent was doing and where his opponent was. These scouts are going to attack. Hindustani scouts actually do damage walls faster. So that's no joke. Spearman goes down. Also, a scout goes down there. I think I could see ACCM making one more scout just to clear this. The Sicilian eco bonus, though, it doesn't feel strong when normal eco bonuses feel strong. Like, all the best eco bonuses in the game that everyone gets excited about, it's always something that gives you immediate benefit. Mongols, boom, 40% more hunt. Japanese, boom, saving tons of wood from the lumber camp in the mill. You can go down the list. Britons, oh, I'm eating sheep faster. So it helps you in early game. This is a late game eco bonus. That will result in a lot of wood at about, let's say, like 20 minutes when farms would normally reseed. And it suits the Sicilians quite nicely because the Sicilians will have a lot of wood for their TCs at that time, right? TaToH showing no sign that he won't play into camels. He's just scouting the map right now. And I'm sure he'll be able to find a lot of the stone and gold. One of my favorite games on this map was with TaToH. I think it was Hidden Cup 3. I think he was Joe. Don't tell me I forgot who TaToH was already. Was TaToH Joan? No, TaToH wasn't. Oh, now I'm confusing with Hidden Cup 2. God, it's been so long. Hold on, hold on. Don't tell me. I'm not going to look. So Dell was Princess that year. Shoot. I forget TaToH's name from that year. Anyways, I think it was TaToH versus Leary. And it was Mayans versus Persians. I think he was Persians with a lot of hand cannons and paladins. It was such a sick late game. And he had expanded to all the extra golds, just like his opponent had done. And we had massive post-imp armies. It was really exciting to watch. ACCM needs to click up here. I'm surprised he's not force-dropping the food. There he goes. He clicks up. Now, Dal was Princess in Hidden Cup 3. Dal in Hidden Cup 2 was like Genghis Khan or something. All right. Yeah, obviously Hidden Cup 2 was like... I don't think many of you guys were actually around for that. I mean, actually, that could be wrong, especially these days. You guys came over to a different platform for me. So you guys might have... Many of you here might have been around for a very long time. But that was quite a bit ago, actually. Main question, are we going to get a recap video or highlight reels? Recap video has been happening for early rounds, where I've been talking about what has happened and what you know you should look back on and watch. I will do that after the group stage finishes. And then I also will... I probably won't have a highlight video, but it'll be like, you should watch these sets, because these sets were the best from the group stage, and this is what's upcoming. With the event concluding in 3 very long days next week, I don't have time to have like a highlight video finished. But maybe an idea for the next season. Highlight videos are really tough in Age of Empires 2, especially with my content. Sure, you do have hype moments, but I feel like the overall flow of a game is what makes a moment good. And if you remove that and it's just like, oh, this cool moment, it's hard to know what's hype and what's not, right? But I should speak to Hardy about that. Oh, look. Little moonwalking camel. 3 TCs for TaToH. These TCs are going to zoom right up for ACCM. He actually left his walls to place this one. And he might actually place another one here. Oh, way. Sicilians do have 300 stone, which means they can do so. Also a monastery. Okay. I think he places it. Honestly, the TC positions are quite nice. It does leave him a little bit exposed. But I like the greed. Here he's using light cav against a camel. This is what I mean. I mean, that camel's still pretty darn good against light cav. I guess TaToH did get bloodlines. TaToH does have armor, so TaToH's invested a bit more into way of upgrades there. Okay, yeah, so some of you guys were around for that. Yeah, some of the names kind of run together for me. I actually remember... You would think that I would remember the player, like the heroes, but I actually remember the individual player names more than I remember who was who. I mean, there's obviously exceptions. Like, you know, the top 8 usually, or like the top 4 I usually remember. I think TaToH was Joan the Maid. I think that's the one I was thinking of, and I think he was when he was playing King Alfonso, which was Leary on this map. All right, so, you know, this stone here will be interesting because that could lead to an eventual defensive castle or offensive castle with the Sicilians. They build those faster as well. So far, TaToH's map control has looked really strong. He is going to get the first relic. Over here, he's got a camel camping on this. He's going to clear up that knight. So he should likely get that second relic. There's now a monk here, though. CCM is going to bring that one home. Yeah, I remember making the maid joke. And I think that's where the minus 7k thing started. So I made the joke that Joan the Maid was good at cleaning things, like cleaning up armies, because Joan was a maid, which is not insensitive. That's the job of a maid, to clean. I will maintain that's not insensitive. It was not a bad joke, okay? It was a fine joke. I remember everyone freaking out, and so at that time, I had Twitch front page, and then, like, at that moment, I was pulled off a front page because that was the schedule. So the viewership went from like, I don't know what it was, like 27, 28K down by 7K. And that's where the minus 7K joke started. But it wasn't 7,000 people leaving because I made a bad joke. The joke was fine. It was just bad timing, okay? I could have said any joke. I could have said anything, and those viewers would have left. It is a bad joke, actually. Okay, but it's not insensitive. I will maintain it's not insensitive. Maid's clean, okay? Also, it was like Joan the Maid was like a long time ago, too. A different time. I'm sure Maid's still clean. Anyways, we're going to stop talking about that because we're going to lose minus 7K again. Good kills here from TaToH. TaToH seems to be dominating with the map control. But he has missed out on this. Oh, wait, he sees it. Monk can hop inside, and Monk is now in there with the relic in hand. A lot of people don't know that's possible. And TaToH is going to send a villager this way, it seems. And he wants to pressure these TCs. Makes sense. He sees 2 town centers. Not a bad spot at all. TaToH also on 4 TCs. Similar outlook, though. He's placed his TCs over here. He is 10 villagers behind. That Monk is going to get shot in the face with arrows. Sad times. But TaToH is trying to punish ACCM for not having a lot of army control. And so it seems to me like ACCM is going to play into pikemen. He doesn't have the upgrade yet, but he's got quite a few spears at the moment. He also has 2 monks here, and he will get 2 conversions, which is nice. It's always an awkward spot when you're making spears before pikes. You're like, do I fight? I think I fight. He's going to take the fight here. That should be decent. He's got enough of them, plus he's got another monk on the way. Okay, so TaToH is building the siege workshop to our left. Monks are trading units left and right. Still no pikeman upgrade again, so it's, you know, you could maybe take this fight if you're TaToH, but I guess it's looking pretty even overall. Still, TaToH lost a lot of his camels. Castle here for ACCM, and we have a castle for TaToH in the exact same position, and neither player knows. Neither player knows about this. I guess TaToH's castle will go up as well, because neither player has fletching. ACCM, you're not going to deny that with a dungeon, my friend. He's going to try. Meanwhile, he's tossing away spearmen, which really bothers me. Yeah, okay, he cancels the dungeon. And now it's castle v castle. So TaToH is going all in Castle Age. He is getting final armor on his camels. He's still producing. And he's got armored elephants and stables over here. TaToH's going to go for the kill. ACCM, he wants to go up to the Imperial Age. He's got enough stone for another castle, but I don't know if he knows that the pressure is going to be coming in here. And man, I love this. This game is developing so nicely. If you know me, I love perfect farms, and I love all-in Castle Age versus Imp, or I love all-in Feudal Age versus Castle Age. I love all-in scenarios. These villagers don't like it, though. They're attacking these elephants. These things are really good, man. The elephants, tough to stop. Look how fast they take out the TCs. Bam. Much faster than normal Castle Age rams, but also more expensive. And so TaToH is not going to stop there. We finally see pikemen for ACCM. It feels like that's been the theme so far for him in this series. Is he's just not getting his upgrades. He's not getting the pikemen out as quickly as he needs to. TaToH has been happy to just switch into Cav. Also, that monk is there. Drops off the relic. Pikes are on the way. 1 upgrade only. The villagers are on. They're hitting these elephants. The idle time's insane for ACCM at the moment. Also, I don't know what in the world this is, but we have a dungeon rush from ACCM on the other side. We'd kind of like to see either player ram down the other castle in the middle. But ACCM has held this. Now, he isn't on the way to Imp anymore. I thought he had clicked it. Maybe he canceled it so he could get the production. But yeah, he holds. Great job from him there. He'll have 2 relics. He's got the pikemen now. And TaToH loves his forward buildings. He did it in the previous game. He's going to lose his monks now, though. And he's doing the same thing here. That said, he might lose his forward position. Lost his monks. His buildings now shouldn't produce. We now have random dungeons on his face. What? Dungeon rush? I mean, if ACCM... He's going for another one? What? This is ridiculous. Here come the camels. He has no army. Actually, he does have army. He has a sergeant. And the sergeants can build the dungeons. They can build the building where they come from. Except for the castle, of course. Okay. I mean, 1,500 HP versus 1,000 HP. Plus, there's units inside of there that does not make TaToH's life easy. Also, this will be dealt with. We have Imp coming in for both players. 113 villagers for ACCM. Let me check something. Yeah, look at this. ACCM, you know, I think he doesn't get his upgrades sometimes. And why he lacks the numbers on occasion is because he always has his TCs queued. Because he lost a lot more than TaToH. And that was more awkward for him. And yet he has, even though he's only killed 3 villagers, he has the Vildi. Here come the armored elephants. Now, this is going to give some control back to ACCM in the rest of the game. So this could go really late now, because he's going to clear this up. And he will consider this to be somewhat of a worthy sacrifice. Very surprised we did not see a ram attempt from either player here, though. Guys, we are still seeing sergeants created. I talked so poorly about the balance of the Sicilians. But I did mention that maybe we'd see Cavalier into Sergeants. The Sergeants, they're continuing to be produced here. Is the Sergeant a play when up against a civilization that would normally go into lots of camels? Now, TaToH's going into Cav Archers, but Sergeants do have 8 Pierce Armor as well. It's not a bad unit. It's just they have the same issue as like a lot of other infantry civs do. And it's more so a momentum thing. And there's First Crusade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TCs. And so it is gimmicky, and some people still very much don't like this. I think it's here to stay, my friends, so accept it. We will have an instant bonus. You click the upgrade, you wait, and then you get 7 free units. They're just going to boop right out of your TCs. But I don't know if this TC is going to stay up. Watch the score for ACCM, by the way. This is what happens when you get 35 free pop. Boom. Scores right back up. Now he's got 38 sergeants on the map. What a great way to kind of save yourself in this situation. But now it does take time to gather up your units. He's getting elite sergeant. He's getting elite. He's also making dungeons. What is this? What is this day, man? Also, Monk's trying to convert the elephant. You have to stand next to it to convert it. That's kind of funny. I'm pumped because in the previous series, as we see a Trebuchet go down, in the previous series, we saw Tarkans. And Tarkans dominating against the Mongols. And now we're seeing sergeants. And the sergeants, I mean, he's still got 30 of them. It's not like TaToH can instantly get 30 units. The sergeants are actually pushing this back right now. Now, this is a very TaToH thing. Random guard tower in the corner. If this doesn't describe TaToH, I don't know what does. That could add up. These sergeants are very slow. And TaToH now has heavy cav archers. So he will have, when he has full upgrades, 11 damage output. So he's doing 3 damage a hit. I still don't know. Like, I feel like the sergeants are probably too slow. If you had rams with it, like, I think the issue is he didn't have siege with it to push back the buildings. I think that would be better for him. You could always switch into Cavalier, too. His eco is actually looking very good. Same with TaToH, though. Overall KD is in the lead for TaToH. But 35 of the units, they weren't free, but TaToH didn't pay full price for them, excuse me. And it's always understandable, too, when you go for infantry. That's going to take a little bit of time. All right, so I wonder if we'll see hand cannons for TaToH, or if he has full faith in the cav archers. Because I think hand cannons with their damage output would be better, but then they're also a lot slower. Still feel like doing 3 damage a hit to a unit that has 85 HP is not bad. Yeah, it seems pretty good. And ACCM's thinking already that he needs something else. I would have wanted to see this game play out in a way where we saw the knights, force the opponent into camels. The opponent continues to make camels, and then you go for the sergeants. But I guess, you know, the way TaToH took initiative, TaToH was the one who was faster to all the action. So he already had the camels. Makes sense to not go knights in that position. I understand it. More donjons for ACCM. Would like to see him get fletching at least. And he is producing out of his donjons. So that's cool. I mean, this is unique, man. It's a unique unit. You rarely get to see unique units. Also, all these cav archers are being annoyed by a ram right now. TaToH's kind of losing control in the middle of the map because of that. And he had just clicked Siege Elephant, but he canceled it or he lost the building. I'm not sure which. TaToH is going to go towards Hussar and Cav Archers. And there go the Sergeants. But look at this wave of blue right here, guys. You see how TaToH's losing control over this area now because the Sergeants go to the next area? It's not like there's a shortage of gold on this map. This dungeon also will maybe shoot down that tower. Sergeant raids, man. Sergeant raids. Crazy plays from ACCM. Now, I agree with you. I think if ACCM would have had some of the ranged upgrades for these donjons, I think he would be in a much better position. But his position's fantastic. TaToH's doing a whole lot of chasing. And yes, he's getting the kills. But he's losing map control. And if you lose map control, you can lose access to golden stone and give that golden stone to the person who's making sergeants. Man, Seadram would have been such a nice play. Again, unfortunately, he doesn't have that. He's going to lose this trebuchet now. He could lose all of his trebuchets. ACCM clearly very focused on the raids. TaToH not really even paying attention either. I don't think either player's looking here. I think they're looking over here right now. There's a million things happening at the moment. But one of those million things is the trebuchets going down. And that's not something that's good for ACCM. Also, TaToH's Cav Archers have not been killed. Right? So it's reached the point where, yes, TaToH has lost a lot of ground. But his army is so huge, he should be able to mop up everything pretty quickly. He's got 62 Cav Archers. What do you do to clear up 62 Cav Archers if you're the Sicilians? Sergeants have 8 Pierce Armor, so that's an answer, but it looks like he's going to go for the Cavalier. I love what ACCM was able to do, though, with the raids, because he hit so many different spots at the same time. Also, I felt like this was very creative, so we could eventually get his gold back. Now catching up on the fletching upgrade, which we all believe here in our chat that people can't see on YouTube, would have helped. Cav transition doesn't feel natural. It feels like it's not what you're doing isn't working, so you have to try it. You know, it doesn't feel like it counters anything that's coming. To be honest, not many civilizations can counter 62 Cav Archers plus Hussar plus Armored Elephant when the opponent has 3 relics and the opponent has faster gold income. But still, he's going to have to try it here, and let's see if he can get that Hallberg upgrade. I do like how he's getting the upgrades now, because I feel his donjons are actually going to be quite nice to keep himself protected. Ballistics is now coming in as well, so he's thinking about that. Oh, man, but TaToH's going to place a castle. That might be denied. That might actually be denied. Hallberg is not in. We'll see. This is going to get taken out, though. TaToH's got so many little blue dots he's got to deal with, though. There's donjons everywhere, man. Nah, Skirmisher would be a really bad play here, Sergio. Sergio, if you don't get the final armor upgrade in your skirms, you have, what is it? 6 Pierce Armor on your skirms? I think 6 Pierce Armor. And Cav Archers do 11 damage. So they're doing 5 damage a hit, and Skirmishers have 35 HP. Skirms get completely wrecked, not to mention that Hussar counters that already. So if he would have had Sergeants and Skirms with the initial push, then yes. I think then there's a world, but it was kind of an all-in from him, right? He sent everything he had for the map control, using only the Sergeants. I think at this point, he's trying his best option, which is probably the Cavalier. Also, really hard to justify opening Skirmisher 2. Also, you're up against a Civ that can make Gulaams. It's tricky. TaToH is running low on gold, though. He's got 9 on gold. ACCM's got gold here. He'll get gold here now. He's losing this gold. TaToH will want this. Honestly, I mean, TaToH still has 72 Cav Archers. My God. ACCM has to starve the guy of gold. That's what he has to do. So many Cav Archers. I guess TaToH has gold here. This is the only gold eco he has, though, beyond the relics. And the relics aren't that far away from here. Cav Archer raid, though, from TaToH. It's hard to believe that he still has this mass back at home. That is not normal. Would love to see TaToH get Blast Furnace for his Light Calf. And as I say it, he gets it. He's not actually floating the gold to be able to click the Hussar upgrade, but he's got the right idea. Slowly push back these dungeons. Also, he's focusing on all the resources where he can, camping the stone out of the dungeon range, hitting the gold. TaToH forcing a very defensive dungeon from ACCM. I just think Sicilians are kind of, they're stuck now, right? Like, you've tried, and I think your win condition is gone at this point. Again, if he had Rams maybe with those sergeants, I mean, that was a crazy push. I don't think we can say that that was a bad attempt. Maybe then you can do it. You could maybe avoid the Cav Archer still try and get raids. TaToH's going to stonewall because he sees that as a possibility. Not sure if TaToH having all these Cav Archers here is necessarily the best idea. But he refuses to quit focusing on these dungeons here. And really want to get that Hussar upgrade. These Cavalier are in. And the Cavalier will have to be dealt with by some Cav Archers. And actually, wait a second. If ACCM can now snipe the Treb, I mean, they'll both lose Trebs. But at least ACCM's position will be held. So he can still take this gold. He can still take the middle. Well, I don't know about still, but soon could take the middle gold. Obviously, now he'll lose his Cavalier. TaToH on this gold, though. TaToH could take this one as well. There's also more stone on the map. This is what I love about Ravines, by the way, about all the expansion you can go for. There's the upgrade, which makes your golden come even faster if you are the Hindustanis. And mods, if we can get rid of that one post, if you've got an opportunity, that would be fantastic. ACCM's population continues to be high, but he is at 150 villagers. His army just, even though it's very effective for low numbers, it will continue to die. He's not killing the Cav Archers. He needs an answer for the Cav Archers. Again, the gold continues to come in there for ACCM, and here we've got 4 gold spots remaining now, or maybe 5. 1, 2... I guess there's 3, and then there's the 2. 4 and 5 would be here, and then way up there. Yeah, TaToH, I mean, he's pop capped. He still can't push back the dungeons. It must be really annoying. Oh, there's gold here as well. Now, not the best time to get the stone mining and gold mining upgrade. It's actually one of the worst times to get that. But hey, there's the Sicilian farm upgrade. As if Sicilians need crop rotation. Just clicking some farms. 500 plus food on some of these farms already. But he is about to reseed some of these, so. Like have double checking the gold. TaToH may be feeling a little cramped. Because he hasn't been able to move out. ACCM incredibly stubborn here. There. Donjon still continues to stand. Guys, the donjons are also no joke. This donjon has 16 kills. It's not bad. Now, of course, the units might have gotten, taken off most of the damage before the donjon finished them, but still. This is kind of what ACCM, what Vinchester did against Slam. Because the Cav Archers had to stay to deal with the threat of a push, and then the Cavalier just kept splitting up. But, oh man, TC gets denied. Castle for TaToH will go up, most likely. And TaToH finally pushes back that dungeon. Also, if TaToH could just delete this, that would be great, because I keep looking at it thinking it's something that's being attacked. Donjon's impressing me. You know, ACCM is running low on gold, but he still is in this game. And he's getting a raid in against TaToH on this side. This is a crazy fight from ACCM. And I think it's worth reminding people that I think he's at 6 wins. And so if he were to lose this game, and let's say lose the next, it's possible he gets relegated because Dogao has Bad Boy and MBL to play tomorrow. Potential of 6 wins for him. It'd be really, really bad for ACCM if he were to get relegated. He, I think, has shown that he's good enough to stay up, even in the group of death. 67 Cav Archers for TaToH. He's now getting Siege Engineers. He wants to apply the finishing touch to all these dungeons, but they're freaking everywhere, man. They're everywhere. But slowly he's pushing back, taking some resources. We'll be very happy now that he has the 3rd relic. This is a start of something new here for ACCM. I don't know if his dungeon will complete. TaToH actually denies that. That's so... How do you notice that? That's so good. But anyways, I like the little side push. I also like how he's starting to treb TaToH down here. TaToH's just now realized this. I think tried to repair and doesn't have the stone. 7 on gold, 5 on gold. Are we really going to go until there's no more gold in the map? Feels like it. Which civilization is best if you don't have gold? I would probably say it's the Hindustanis because they get Halb, they get Hussar, and they get Skirms with better upgrades. But, oh my god! Look at this raid! This whole side is falling apart for TaToH. Okay, so TaToH now has to push the middle, right? Like, if he pushes ACCM back, then they're both taking massive losses to position in their economy. Light Cav getting through. Hussars and Cav Archers immediately show up to deal with this. And TaToH knows this is something that needs to be addressed. Meanwhile, he's maintaining his position here, which is so epic. He also kept this castle up. Didn't spot it, but I'm sure he used Hussar because I can see the wings. This is like the final stand for ACCM. He has to push this back. If he could push this back and maintain the raids and the ram pushes on the left side, I'm sure that he could maybe make something happen here. He's got tons of safe farming eco, guys. That's the thing. And he's got like 1,000+ food on every new farm. So he'll save wood. That could lead to pikemen. Skirm now might make more sense. Especially if he continues to hit the bulk of TaToH's farming eco. I think Skirm would make a lot more sense. I like this raid. Also, I don't know if TaToH has murder holds. It's actually possible if he doesn't. I was going to say it's possible if he doesn't. He does. Never mind. That the castle would go down. Hey, here come the Cav and the Light Cav. TaToH micring around. Elephant still slowly taking out buildings. TaToH will kill a lot of Cav here. But all ACCM wanted was to take the trip. And ACCM is in with Light Cav. What an insane game. What an insane game. I mean, the thing is, he's not taking many economic losses himself because he has this safe corner with the farms. So, full-on Light Cav spam could do something. TaToH just struggling to break these fortifications with all the dungeons. Now, TaToH should start sending new vills over to this corner. I'm going to check. Let's actually see. Where's he got a TC? I want to see where these TCs are sending villagers. Because if he's setting his gather point on the other side of the map, that'll take time for his wood income to come in. In fact, his wood income is so bad. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I think they are going over to the other side of the map. But it almost feels like his wood income is so bad that his farms will start expiring. TaToH's got 70 Cav Archers. He can't win the game. Guys, does ACCM have a chance? Honestly, I think KD aside, all ACCM needs to worry about is continuing to raid TaToH's eco. Because the weakness of Cav Archers, as we've seen, is that they have to be in one spot all the time. Also, I love the barrack choice. I love that he's finally going to get Halb, I think. I don't know, guys. Like, it seems like ACCM could just wear TaToH down ever so slowly. So maybe it's not the units but it's the eco for the Sicilians that makes them strong. We did say that it's a late game eco bonus. You save so much wood not having to reseed farms, and he snipes the trap. So he will maintain his control. Also, he doesn't have murder holes, which is sad. But he will maintain his control over that gold. Lycav now head over to TaToH's eco. There's a Cavalier here. Oh my god, this is actually happening. TaToH has a fourth of his population here, and sure, that fourth of his population is strong, but there's just Lycav everywhere, man. Lovely walls from TaToH. I'm sure he'll realize the situation. He knows that how this game is going, and he knows he needs to stop it on both sides. He's walled the right. He now has the Cav Archers on the left, but you do not need to be picky about where you send your units if you're ACCM. 77 farms, and he will finally take this castle out. Now, TaToH will probably take all the gold or the stone, but that's a castle that is helping secure this side for TaToH. What's the Eco KD? The Eco KD is actually very close, which is crazy. Oh, but there's villagers dying everywhere. And TaToH has to, while he has cheap villagers, he has to replenish these villagers all the time. The only real fortification TaToH has is in the middle. So I'd like to see ACCM, after he takes care of this, which he's done, just shift his trebs towards the middle castle. And then I think he can actually close this game out. The fact that these Cav Archers are simply just sitting here and they're just waiting for this dungeon to go down is incredible. So, have we established that Sergeants aren't necessarily OP? But Sicilian late game is wild because they can just cockroach it out? And maybe even the Donjons everywhere is strong because the Donjons have been sick. I love how he used the Donjons. Also, there is stone here. He could always get that for more castles, more Donjons. TaToH's down to 140 pop. Imagine if he would have had the upgrades on those Donjons earlier in the game. TaToH will realize now, when you see your pops at 150, and you're constantly trying to save vills and add more vills into this one corner, you know you're in trouble. More Lycav come in, but the quick walls, but there's a hole over here. So the Lycav can get in anyways. There's also Halbs here. There could be Rams as well. Who cares about the Cav Archers? Screw the Cav Archers. Avoid the Cav Archers. 78 farms. Treadmill Crane now coming up for ACCM. Is he going to build more Donjons with that? I hope he does. He definitely knows he's got TaToH pinned. The score is just flipped. He's got so many different groups of Lycav right now. The castle in the middle is gone. TaToH's desperate for some type of control over this game. I don't see how he gets it if ACCM continues here. There is the next dungeon. Without the dungeons, I think TaToH would have snowballed a push through the middle a whole lot faster. And he would have been able to finish off ACCM before ACCM got to this stage. It's not the units. It's the position that has brought ACCM this win. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm going to say this win. Could get Siege Ram here. He will probably click it in a moment. It seems like he's saving food for it. TaToH's southern corner is going to go down. He knows it. He calls the GG. What a victory for ACCM. That was awesome. But guys, it wasn't necessarily the Sergeants. It wasn't necessarily the Cavalier. It was just holding certain areas of the map. And MVP move was to make so many dungeons in this game and get those upgrades. Dang. So I questioned Sicilians a little bit. We talked about all the bonuses Hindustanis have so many times throughout this event. Apparently, Sicilians can bust them open at this point of the game. It only took 1 hour and 12 minutes. That was a sick win for ACCM. And a very important win again, because he's going to have Dogal breathing down his neck. Both of these players are, when Dogal plays 2 sets in the same day to close out the group for Group D. So, both players feeling a bit more comfortable because they both have a win, but they'll be hungry for game number 3. Let's actually look at the resources brought in here, too. You know, the other thing, I mean, obviously the farm count was insane. But, again, you save wood with Sicilians, which I think helps a lot with production buildings. He's got buildings everywhere. Not having to reseed your farms, that leads to you having like 25 stables and 25 barracks a whole lot easier than your opponent. And then that Sergeant Flood was quite effective in giving him those positions for the dungeons, right? Like this position, which he had for a while, is because he flooded with sergeants. This position was because he flooded with sergeants. So I think the sergeants accomplished their job. Whether or not it was necessarily worth it, like cost-wise, I don't know. But positionally, I think it was. Yeah, let's actually check the dungeons. So this one here, obviously, is new. 1 kill. I remember this other one had 20. 8 kills. 6 kills. 1 kill. 18 kills. I guess, like, the more important ones were in different spots. 6 kills. 3 kills. It's not quite as exciting as maybe you guys were hoping for. But I bet you we probably had 100+ kills with dungeons. Which, if that's the case, that's a sixth of your kills. It's not bad. But more than anything, it just stops TaToH from being able to advance through them. And TaToH just had to sit there the whole time. 127,000 resources collected versus 108. Sicilians OP. All right. Here we are. Game number 3. It is possible that for whoever loses this game, they could be relegated depending on how Dogal performs against MBL and against Bad Boy in the conclusion of the group. Here in the blue, we have ACCM. He has gone for the Gurjaras. And we have TaToH, who has gone for the Vikings in the red. I feel like every time I've seen Vikings played out on this map, I have seen them lose. However, for the Gurjaras, I have seen the Gurjaras win and lose on this map. There's pros and cons to it if you pick this civilization on a water map. TaToH is going to take some of these buffalo away, or try to, because ACCM will rely on that, and ACCM did not see that. A great decision from TaToH at the start of this game to try and steal as many water buffalo as possible. The Gurjaras rely on sending their sheep, or in this case the buffalo, into their mill. And if they can do that, as TaToH sees that, I'm going to try and hide those. For every one they have inside their mill, there is a food trickle. And the buffalo give a greater trickle than a normal sheep would. TaToH's going to try and kill these with his scout. Boom! He needs 2 hits, though. So he's running away with that one. I don't think the buffalo being weak inside the mill has an effect on how much food it brings. But so far, so good for TaToH. He was able to get 2 home. And so that's 300 food to steal away. I imagine ACCM will probably find these. But laming is allowed. And the Gurjaras, they're always going to go for a start like this that relies on these. Now, the downside for the Gurjaras when they do that on a map that incorporates water is that you use your wood for your mill, and so you have to delay your lumber camp massively, which pretty much means you can't dock and make fishing ships. So we'll see what TaToH ends up doing. At the same time, TaToH's got 3 on wood. He's sending the 4th now, so I guess maybe... Okay, there's the 5th, so he was just late. TaToH has to come home and find his own resources eventually. He's still looking to steal more from ACCM. But ACCM, in the end, will still have 8 buffaloes. Is that right? No, 7 buffaloes there. Not a bad start for him. Actually, that's a great question. The buffalo does not heal inside the mill from what I can see. Okay, so there's apparently a mouse in the middle of the map. Like a creature? A mouse? Or are you talking like a keyboard and mouse? A mouse. I don't see a mouse. Does anyone else see a mouse in the middle? It's a dead rat? Where's the tail at? Is there a tail on this dead creature? I don't see. I see like a really oddly scrambled egg. That's all I see. There's the dock for TaToH. Downside for TaToH, though, is he can't make fire galleys. So if he doesn't get the galley mass up on water, he could have some big problems. I think that makes Vikings a little one-dimensional and a little predictable. Oh my god. Don't tell me TaToH. Oh, he knows his buffalo over there. So he's trying to lure ACCM away. And ACCM finds buffalo. Oh, TaToH. You stole buffalo. Well, he's going to get him back, actually. He should be able to find them. But ACCM might go back and get them. So we'll see. They're going to fight over the buffalo. Nose pointing down right, no tail. Nose down right, no tail. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. TaToH chooses to kill that buffalo as he runs away from the camel scout. TaToH's second fishing ship is out. He's getting loom. He'll be clicking up. What is the decision going to be here for ACCM? I remember Vinchester went full on water. He just went 2 docks, full galleys, just to kill the opponent's fish. And I like the approach because you're going to have good economy with this. You just do not want the opponent to have a good economy with fish. T90 blind. Okay, this is not a case of T90 blind. ACCM lost his camel, though. So he's T90 blind. Yikes. And to me, it feels like he just forgot about that, honestly. Because he knew earlier to pull back. He knew the TC would be close to there. I think he was trying to place his lumber camps and do everything here. And it just slipped his mind. You see how he's pulled villagers off of berries? He's thinking about this. He's like, do I need this much food? I want to go for this strategy. If there was ever an invitation to sneak a villager, this would be it for TaToH. But so far, I think we're just going to see him go for water control. He's double checking so he can wall up his base. He doesn't seem that interested in scouting what his opponent's up to. I'll just put on the record that I'm not a big fan of Vikings on this map. Because, well, A, the lack of fire galleys. B, I think a lot of other civilizations which end up being played on this map counter you really hard in late game. Japanese, really strong against Vikings. Britons, very strong against Vikings. Not sure about Gujaras. Gujaras is more unique. Also, you do have to pay a lot of attention to your micro. But at the same time, we have ACCM. Surprising me. And he's going to go 1 dock fire galleys. I don't love this move. I think if you're going up against Vikings, they're almost always going 2 dock galleys. Going 1 dock fire galleys does give them an opportunity to be able to survive and dominate water. Whereas otherwise, I think they would have to micro more than you would. More buffaloes coming in for TaToH. TaToH still has not scouted what ACCM is up to. And there's an archer range for ACCM. But here comes TaToH's scout. And boom. And he actually sees it's a stable instead. Actually, I'm liking TaToH's position a little bit more now because think about it. He's already walling. He knows it's going to be scouts. He knows it'll take a minute or two. Here he is with his galleys, though. He runs immediately into a fire ship, and he's going to have to chase back and deal with that. Yeah, I think if you play into a lot of farms, which TaToH will maybe eventually do, Vikings can be really good. Their eco, obviously, is quite solid. Does take time to mass these galleys. TaToH also has to wall and respect that the scout will be coming out. So far, so good for the Spaniard, though. And for ACCM, he's got no scout. But he can at least assume his opponent is going water for now, so he shouldn't be too concerned. TaToH actually immediately adding more fishing ships, too. That's interesting. I feel like we've seen some very obvious examples of the Gujaras being OP in this event so far. But I also think that some people have banked on that a little too much. Like, the Civ's just not going to carry you through. And, like, in this case, the opening from ACCM, I thought it would have been fine if it's 2 docks. So sure, he does garrison his fishing ship, which is funny. You can do that with the Gujaras. Will he actually have enough to push back against TaToH on water? I mean, TaToH is confident enough to add more fishing ships, right? He's adding 2 batches. He's added 4 more, and now he's adding more galleys. There's the scout. The walls are already up. TaToH, good scouting earlier. We'll even drop a market over here. And he's just waiting. Yeah, I didn't look at their civ draft to see what civilizations they'd banned and picked, but no Britons, no Japanese. Could be considered a little bit of a surprise here. And here you have scouts going after the fishing ships. It's all you can hit if you're ACCM, so it makes sense. Wait, is he making camels? He's making camels. Whoa. Why, though? Is there something I'm missing? You can do that with the Gujaras. Camels, maybe a bit more effective if scouts come out from his opponent. Maybe a bit more effective against the fishing ships and the ships. Guys, this is the weakness of Vikings. You see this? Yeah, galley micro can dominate. But you have to focus on it all the time. Fires, it's just a patrol. It's easy. TaToH has executed so well, though, leading up to that point. He does have a demo here. Does ACCM know about it? Let's hope he knows about it, because this could be perfect! This is awkward. Okay, well, TaToH didn't know. ACCM saw it. Demo does land. TaToH will get a kill. But a bit awkward here for his fishing ships as he clicks up to Castle Age. Hey, T90, both Sicilians and Vikings have great eco in different ways. What do you think about a special bonus for a civ that enables 2 vills to work a farm together? OP, not AoE2, gimmicky, exciting. What else? What do you think? 2 villagers working a farm together. I actually really like that idea. What do you got? What does everyone else think about that? That's interesting because, I mean, I would have to balance it, right? I would have to, sorry, I'd have to test it to see how balanced it was, is what I meant to say. But it's an interesting idea because you can get the food income faster, but there's a trade-off to it. I don't think that would be possible. I feel like it might break aspects of the game and the devs might not like it, but who knows? Imagine the vill pathing. Yeah, vill pathing, and I thought of a couple other things. But yeah, we'll see. We will see if the devs ever implement it, and then we will remember this day, July 28th, 2022. And TaToH's uptime and the way he's handled himself in this game has been really nice. Yes, he did lose 4 fishing ships, but he still has a lot. And he has such a large mass of galleys at the moment. ACCM, oh no! ACCM could lose this villager to a Komodo dragon! He's got to wall it off and he gets the wall down. The Komodo's not happy. He will have to bring a unit over to deal with that. Here comes the camel to save the day. And fishing ship goes down there. Of course, ACCM still has fire galleys. He could move out and try and attack. TaToH's looking to see what he can find right now with his scout. And he will see a hole, which may or may not tell him he needs to check the side of his base. Because if I were him, and I love the house wall just in case, if I were him and I saw that hole, I would think something was up there. And you also see, he also sees this villager. So I think will be a siege workshop for ACCM, but TaToH's position, as the scout will finally die, is still really, really strong on water. And it's not too bad on land either. I also love how, especially being TaToH, you know, he loves his towers. I love how the TC's on the wood line and the stone. So he should be able to quite easily drop some towers or a castle later on if he needs to. TaToH has the lead in this one. There's no doubt about it. He's got some longboats out now as well. He doesn't have Bodcanero yet, which is a little bit weird. But I feel like he believes he's won water at this stage, and it's pretty darn close to that. But we'll see. I mean, ACCM sneaking up another dock. This is a massive moment in this game. TaToH will not expect that because he's weakening this dock, and it looks like ACCM isn't really committing that much more to water. TaToH will see this one if he's paying attention. Also getting Town Watch, scouting with the Spearman. The Spearman can kill the Vill because it's a weak villager. Still wondering if TaToH has noticed that this dock has been spotted yet. There's a fire galley out now. The fire galley will be pretty effective. Also, the camels are here. And then the villager did die over here. But ACCM has 2 docks to produce fire galleys from. And TaToH all of a sudden is like, what? I wasn't expecting to have to deal with this mass. Never upgraded to war galley either. So now he can't make demo ships. He can only make demo rafts. Still, though, longboats should be pretty strong. And TaToH's on 2 TCs. Santiago, way back in the day, you used to have to make a castle to make longboats, but they changed that a few years ago. And I mean, you never saw longboats because of that. And it really changed the game. I'm really glad they did that. It was the same with turtle ships with Koreans. You couldn't make them unless you had a castle, which in hindsight is just like one of the dumbest things ever. I mean, unless they were trying to balance it, I guess. Longboats are very strong, let's be honest. But looking back at that, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that. ACCM will have 3 TCs. He's got pretty good wooden farming eco at this point. Plus, he still has those buffaloes. And he hasn't allowed TaToH to dominate on water. And getting those 2 docks producing has been a massive help for him. And that dock's at 164 HP there. We also have Shravamsha Riders from ACCM. They soak up shots from ranged units. He also takes out the monk there. I imagine TaToH's feeling some pressure right now, but it is a close with the KD. And TaToH will get relic number 1. Here he will go for conversion, and he will lose the monk regardless. He gets the conversion, not bad. Monk goes down. I remember that you needed a castle. Glad they changed it. Yeah, and I forget if there... It was basically like that for any unique ship, but I don't think there were any more unique ships in the game at that time. Like, when they made the change, Portuguese didn't exist, for example. That change was pre-DE. That change was, I think, 2018-ish. I forget. I'm wondering if TaToH's ever going to regret not getting War Galley. At this point, he kind of can't afford it. But feels like he might... I mean, ACCM's going to go for demos. We know TaToH loves his demos, so he might need it. I think ACCM has done a great job to claw his way back into this game. Very similar to the previous game. Doesn't look like much damage happened there, but very similar in the previous game where TaToH gets all these ranged units out, and ACCM is just using melee units and eco. I think TaToH will have some concerns if he doesn't have the 3rd TC up yet. Koreans existed? Yeah. Like I said, it was Koreans and it was Vikings that were like that. And boom. Monk goes down. That should be the 2nd relic eventually, though, for TaToH. Longboats are chewing up almost every ship that comes to the middle, though. This dock will go down. This dock's already down. And now we could have some problems if you're ACCM. Ballistics now on the way for TaToH. Does have 3 TCs. It's in the very corner. And he will happily control the water now with his longboats. ACCM not giving up, though. This is the 2nd time he's done this. He immediately goes back out to the water. And what does TaToH do? TaToH's going to check. Checking all the shorelines he can. And he will find this. And he will kill this. At least the villagers anyways. And that tells him he also needs to just put that foot on the gas a bit more. You know what I think ACCM should do? I think you should take a page out of TaToH's book from some of the other games we've seen. I mean, he's kind of doing it now, but like 2 stables or 3 stables combined with a little bit of a siege push on the side of TaToH's base would be awesome. Guys, TaToH thinks he's dealt with this. Remember, he killed the Vill. So in his mind, this is no longer happening, but a new villager made it over here. And there's already 2 mangonels. There's already a monastery. I guess where it gets awkward for ACCM is stable units would have to run around. It's almost better for him to make a new stable. And yeah, that fire ship will do nothing. Let's see where TaToH places his castle. If he places his castle at home, he's completely fine. But if you were to place the castle in the middle right now and then get pushed, like, you see what I mean? Let's see the timing on this. ACCM doesn't know it, but the longer he waits, the better it is, actually. Now, if I'm TaToH, I cancel this castle and I place the castle at home. Yep. Good stuff. Because now you know that this could be a threat. You don't know what could come in from this. And there come the Shravamsha Riders. TaToH with a couple buildings to block this off. Nice. Gate will go down, though. But bought himself some time. Castle will go up. Loses a couple vills. ACCM, though, will be very happy with this. He's been able to kill villagers. He's now forced TaToH to place a castle in a spot that doesn't protect the middle gold. And now look at his castle. Oh my god, this is a great series. This is a sick series. That's so good. Because now he can dock freely. So he can just dock up. And then he can play into water. And TaToH has to respect this. Look at this. Guard tower now. The guy's freaking out about this push. And also has to relocate to wood lines. And just all of this gets smushed into the back corner. So TaToH, recognizing what's going to happen now, he still has to continue to make longboats, which he is. He's very light on gold, though. He has to fix that. But he also has to find a way to deal with this eventually. Good news about a castle and guard tower is that the siege push probably won't do much, so it's a lot easier to just focus on the water, but still. Also, I think 3 monks just died to the same longboats. RIP. TaToH will be an imp. If I were him, I'd be adding docks. I'd be thinking about Bracer, and I'd be thinking about a castle in the middle. You do not need to deal with this just yet. You need to use your Imperial Age to continue to control that middle area. Surprised ACCM hasn't gone for docks. Maybe he feels like it won't work. Or maybe he was just waiting for the Imperial Age, and there he goes. Also, lovely decision from him to sneak some villagers to the north. This is already a corner he's got controlled. Does deny a gold as well from TaToH. TaToH with chemistry first, which is weird. But it is a slower upgrade. And here he is with Vills, I imagine, that are going to make a castle. And I imagine he's going to go for longboat. Gurjaras do get fast fire ship, if I recall. TaToH's outpost will show that there's a stable up there. So yeah, TaToH aware of this push in the south. Also aware that there could be a bit of a push in the north, but the Shravamsha riders kill the monk, and this push will continue for ACCM. This could get out of hand if it becomes Hussar. Become a really big deal for TaToH where he needs pike. See if TaToH reacts. It looks like he sent a berserk that way. That castle is very slow. Like, think about the timing. He's been an imp for a while. Now he's dropping this castle. The opponent could also just mix in Navy now and then use their trebuchets. I'm not in love with TaToH's position so much anymore. Obviously, we'll complete the castle. But it's not like he's been mining this gold in the middle, right? Sometimes if you get pushed out of the middle, it's like, oh, great, I took 10k gold in there. And I'm just going to get it back now. TaToH definitely has had to put a lot of his attention and focus into the corners. This is the perfect game from ACCM. After what happened earlier, the perfect game. And such an amazing game from both of them, too. This is so cool. This is one of the most satisfying games that I've seen in this event so far. But let's see if it lives up to the expectations I just gave it. Because now ACCM needs to cancel this castle. He really needs a push in the middle. And oh my god, we saw a demo there. And now Shravamsha riders are on the way. Look at TaToH. These guys are chasing the Shravamshas from the north. I think ACCM's villager will die here, though. So this push is kind of stopped. Still doesn't have a lot there. Still the middle focus is what matters. Unique tech on the way. And that makes all of your units cost less food. But not having Bracer yet, not having Galleon yet, all those things are going to affect ACCM. Also, he's researched Galleon. What he doesn't even have... He doesn't even have a single galley. But TaToH has his position. He's got 27 longboats now. He's got pikemen that can defend his eco, and now it's looking bad for ACCM. Oh, man. It's like, it was tough for him, right? The way TaToH defended himself. It was so very tricky for him to actually invest resources into pushing here. And the idea in the north was correct as well, I feel. Now he's making galleons. Fun fact, after the unique tech, Gurjara galleons cost 0 food. Yeah, it's crazy. Their monks also cost 0 food. I don't know how the devs haven't dealt with that yet. TaToH's expecting fire ships, so he's researched War Galley, which affects the demos. And that just upgrades his demos from demo rafts to demo ships, because he knows he'll need it. But it's not fast fire ship, and if it's not fast fire ship, TaToH's completely fine. I questioned the Vikings a little bit. I was wondering if it would work, if TaToH could control the middle while also dealing with everything else. And guys, he's got control of the entire game now. He's got pikemen in the corners. These raids will do nothing for ACCM. He's got longboats that are not even elite yet, but I'm sure it'll come in. We have heavy demo for TaToH, and here he goes. Boom, baby. And with this should boom TaToH into a safe position in the group. We'll have to look at the standings. But most likely, he is, again, safe. That's the operative word here. I don't think it guarantees his position because we still have Dogal versus Bad Boy and then Dogal versus MBL to see. Nothing's working for ACCM. He's got no access to gold. This is the only gold that he'd have remaining. He can't take this gold either. It looked like ACCM had done everything he could, I guess, to try and distract TaToH so TaToH wouldn't focus on the mid, but never really had it had a flow going in the middle and never was able to get above like 5 or 6 units on water. Sick. Doc goes down over here. Desperation for ACCM because he'll know it's out of his hands after this. And if Dogal gets enough wins, that ACCM might be the one that gets relegated. There's pikemen everywhere, though, and we now have elite longboat for TaToH. It would have been great if he could get elite. Yeah, that's what I meant. Screenshot it. I wanted to see elite next to elite. That's very rare. So now he's also getting elite berserk. That's the unit now. Yeah, I mean, he's fully popped. So it's kind of hard to have pop space for it, but with this many castles, elite berserk seems like the go-to unit. Okay, so remind me, chat, ACCM has what? With this game, is it 7 total wins? Or did he start with 5? And does he go up to 6? I forgot to pin the standings. I'm very sorry for that. Chieftains now for TaToH. I don't know if it's hugely necessary, but it is a great technology. It gives all of your infantry additional attack versus cavalry. Obviously, there's no cavalry, or not a lot of it right now. ACCM trying to raid with light cav, slowly. But I don't think it'll really do much. Do you prefer this map or cross? I missed the pond being split in half. There's the GG well played from ACCM. I don't know. They're all different maps. What a great series. I mean, that win in Game 2 for ACCM might end up being something that saves him. I think that's important to revisit because it looked like he was dead there. So that was a wonderful victory. But ultimately, look back to Game 1. I felt like TaToH had a better outlook and TaToH was outplaying him. Like, TaToH just has a habit of forcing reactions. Like, he always takes control. It doesn't matter how you play it. He's like, boom, I'm going to force you to arrive here. I'm going to force you to do this. I'm going to take the map control, which is part of what made ACCM's comeback in Game 2 so exceptional. But yeah, I just kept talking about TaToH doing this, TaToH doing that, ACCM having to react. And there were times in this series where ACCM would bounce back and he showed his quality, but he didn't quite have the control that he would need. TaToH showed me that Vikings can be very strong there. More wood, more gold, more stone for him. Obviously would have been significant if that game continued. So bear with me here as I just pull up this doc. This should show it now. And I don't think it was updated with the result as it's just finished. Okay, so after that, TaToH goes to 9 wins. ACCM has 7. So TaToH is completely safe. There is a chance that Dogal could get to 9 wins as well above TaToH, above ACCM, obviously, and then tied with TaToH, and then that would go into a tiebreak. We still don't exactly know what would happen in that instance. Actually, no, we do know what would happen in that instance. TaToH would win the tiebreak because Dogal has 2 sets to play. He would have 2 sets won. TaToH will now have 3. So Dogal cannot get 3rd. That is impossible now. Dogal can get 4th or 5th. His goal is to get 4 wins or more. And actually, even then, I'm trying to remember when Dogal played ACCM, what happened there. ACCM had 1. So Dogal actually needs 5 wins, right? Let me make sure I confirm this. ACCM at 7. Let's say Dogal gets 4 and they're tied. Okay, so if he gets 4 wins and they tie, they will both have 2 sets won, which means it goes to the next tiebreak, which is the head-to-head. And ACCM had beaten Dogal 2-1. So yes. Okay, so what this establishes for us is that Dogal, in order to survive, needs 5 wins of 6. So he needs to beat Bad Boy, 3-0 and MBL 2-1, or he needs to beat MBL 3-0 or Bad Boy 2-1. And if he does not do that tomorrow, Dogal will be in the 5th spot and Dogal will be relegated. And then ACCM is safe.